Well, today we have Coach David Clark today. So you're, I like to go through the real basic stuff real quick.
Yep.
Husband, father,
Yep.
work in the school district, former athletic director, and now you're with We Are D3, which is more than just a TBT team now.
Right.
Right. So,
Right. We start actually Coach Reg started We Are D3 about maybe 8 years ago,
okay.
and he started it as a platform to help Division III basketball players have a platform to play professionally overseas.
Okay.
So that was the first part. And then we met when they played in Wichita. So they played a team maybe in 2021 that they lost by 7. I opened the gym, wasn't expecting anything, didn't want anything from them, just showing them Midwest hospitality by
Okay.
giving them
Yeah.
a gym. And, you know, after that 7-point loss, they had an after party, celebrating, thanks guys. And it was over at O'Brien's on East Kellogg. And he asked me to come, and I didn't even know what, other than to hang out with the guys. It was kind of fun. But he asked me if I'd consider being his director of operations. And I thought, okay, what does it do?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said, well, it pays nothing because we don't have a budget, but we really like you. You're good with the guys. And I said, okay. So fast forward to the next year, we prepared for Wichita State, the Aftershocks, and just got blown out. But give the Aftershocks credit, they did not take us lightly,
Hmm.
and that was probably their strongest team to date in the TBT.
I think so too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we just got blown out. It was 9-0 after like 40 seconds.
Yeah. That's the year I actually finally had met you and done some when I did, other sports stuff, right? Channel, I guess. So,
Yep.
I'll push this up a little
Oh,
bit.
yeah, I got it.
You're good. Okay. I always do it. Back to the born and raised.
Yeah, born and raised. I was born in Council Bluffs, Iowa.
Wow. Okay.
Didn't live there very long. My
Okay.
dad was a Green Beret, so he was in the service when I was born. Um, and he met my mom at Fort Devens, Massachusetts.
Okay.
So eventually moved back to Massachusetts and was raised there.
Okay.
Central Mass. Graduated from Wachusett Regional High School in Holden, Massachusetts, but I lived in Rutland.
Okay.
So we had 5. It was a regional high school, so 5 towns went to this high school. Had good memories growing up. I was a big Patriots fan in the 1980s. Went to a lot of games. Uh, they probably averaged 25,000 fans a game. They weren't very popular, but they had one breakout year where they went to the Super Bowl and got crushed by probably the greatest NFL team in history, that '85 Bears team. Yeah,
Yeah.
but no. So after growing up there, I wanted something different. I wanted a better climate, so I chose Wichita State because I wanted a large city in the Midwest.
Okay.
Since I was born in Council Bluffs, and I looked at Creighton, I looked at Ohio State, but their winners were too. I didn't like it. I didn't like what I
Yeah.
saw, so I thought, well, Wichita seems to be 40s or 50s sometimes in the winners, so I chose Wichita State. Yeah.
In the past 5 years, we've had a couple negative 30s with the wind
Oh
chills.
yeah, yeah. But
But okay,
but that's a
that's
great thing about Wichita. Even if it snows, it's usually gone in 48 hours.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I knew you were from Massachusetts, but I didn't know you were born in Iowa. Okay,
Yep.
cool.
Yeah.
All right. So growing up, sports, play any
Yeah. Played baseball, basketball. Um, I tried to ice skate because hockey's big up there, ice
okay.
hockey, but I didn't do that. I golfed quite a bit.
Okay.
Um, I bowled quite a bit, and actually that's what brought me to Wichita State. I thought
Oh,
of walking on to the bowling team because
okay.
I carried around a 200 average, which isn't great, but yeah, especially at Wichita State, you've got to be 230s, and um, but I remember showing up to tryouts, and that would have been fall of '89, and I thought, I like bowling, but I don't love it. I
Yeah,
don't want to be here 6 hours a day. I want to enjoy college life.
right.
So eventually I joined the Beta House and just had fun being a
Okay.
student and being a member of Beta Theta Pi.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So no, you didn't take sports too like other than just playing. Like, did you play high school
Yeah.
or baseball?
Yeah.
Okay, for the
But
actual school teams or just all I ever did was the like I don't know what you call them. The little my mom always signed me up for them. Like the city.
oh yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah, like senior Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth was big back
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Um,
And I did rec leagues and
like
such.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like there's League 42,
Right.
which I love by the way.
Yeah.
Anyway, things like that's what I did. I didn't do actually for the school. So, yeah, but I went down a different path on sports.
Yeah. And I always loved sports.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be extremely dedicated.
Mhm.
I wasn't out practicing that much. I just love to participate, and that was important to me, being a part of a team.
Right. Yeah. The That's something like, being in, I guess for me just rec leagues or whatever, never got to experience like the actual brotherhood or something like that. But I can always see where they do like that, where, players and coaches, love that lifestyle and
Yeah, I've seen some interviews from players after they've lost in the NCAAs. They say, one was this past year, I believe. What will you miss the most? And one student athlete said, "I'll miss going out to eat with the guys."
Mhm.
So that brotherhood was very important.
Right. Yeah. That's what Coach Potter said too about, when the wins or losses, it was the growth of being with your team and
Yeah,
bonding and everything.
and it prepares you for life. Those
Right.
those experiences are those kids are so much better prepared
Mhm.
for life because they can go through adversity, they can problem solve, all the great aspects of being part of a team. That's what I love about it.
Okay. So college life, you were just a college student then and
Yep, just a college student. I played intramurals for Beta Theta Pi.
okay.
Uh, had some great times. After games, we'd go out to Subway. I mean, that's about all we could afford down at 21st and Woodlawn.
Yeah.
I remember going to Subway a lot because back then it seemed like you could get a sub for $2.
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, I I I did enjoy those times.
Yeah. Okay. So then after college, you went into education, right? Is that what
Yeah,
okay.
that wasn't my first choice.
Okay.
I was fortunate when I was at Wichita State. I had a great mentor who was a lawyer at the time at Folsom Seefkin. His name is the Honorable Eric F. Melgren. He's
Okay.
now a federal judge in Wichita. But yeah, and I keep in touch with him on occasion. So that was my plan. I majored in U.S. history
Okay.
and did a lot of research as an undergrad. So that would have prepared me for law school.
Okay.
And like I said, I had a great mentor. Another one was Jeff DeGraff Reed. He's a partner at Folsom Seefkin. And these experiences help me, like, oh, because if you've never been somewhere before, you need a pioneer that may help you or a
Mhm.
guide or a mentor. So I applied to Washburn Law School. I graduated at midterm, so it was December of '93. So I was at WSU for 4.5 years, and I had proposed to my wife that November,
Okay.
and so we were getting married that June. But I thought, I don't know, what I want to do because Eric would take me out to eat once a month, and we'd talk about school and
Mhm.
future and plans. But I remember one night we used to go over to Heroes. Is that the name of it? Down in
Yeah,
yeah,
downtown.
downtown in
Oh,
Old Town.
well, it's been a couple places, but yeah, I used mainly downtown.
Right.
Uh,
In Old Town. It was one of the first restaurants and bars there. So we'd go eat there, and then it might be about 10 o'clock because he was working late. And we'd eat at 9, and at 10 o'clock, we're walking back towards his office, which is the old Bank 4 building. Now it's the Ruffin building. And I'd say, "Oh, you're going back to work?" "Yeah, I'm working on this case." And I said, "Well, when will you be done?" "I don't know, 2 or 3 in the morning." So, but he was a hard worker, and he had 4 kids, but he never was home.
mhm,
Didn't really get to see. He was a good family man. I'm not saying he wasn't, but I was like, I don't know if I want that. I don't
right.
know. So I told my wife, Jennifer, future wife, that I want to I just want to get on the Amtrak and just
Yeah.
go west and just look at the country and just think about what I wanted to do. And I thought, you know what? I think I'd be a good teacher.
Mhm.
So that after we got married in June, I went back to it was Kansas New in college.
Yep.
So I went there for 9 months and got certified.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's my journey into education.
So that's how you got into it. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, all right. So then you obviously stayed local then, or did you stayed local right off the bat out
Yeah,
of college, getting your certification?
stayed local. Um
Well, you met your
yeah, I
future
met
at
Jen,
your
so
time
yeah,
to be
so
your
we just celebrated our 31st, so it's
okay.
hard to believe, but yeah, and then that first year it was really tough to get teaching jobs back in 1995.
Okay.
So I signed up to be a substitute teacher in Rose Hill. And eventually, I was still doing that. And I took a job at Osco Drug as an assistant manager.
Osco.
Remember
I
Osco's?
do remember Osco Drug, yes.
Yeah. So I did that for 2 years, worked 6 days a week. But on my day off, if it was a school day, I would sub in Rose Hill to keep my name out there. And then eventually in 1998, the principal called me and asked me if I'd like to come down for an interview because they see me all the time. And I remember I was so tired because I was working long shifts at Osco, and
Yeah.
the general manager at the time had a nervous breakdown, so I was running the store open to close, and they
Okay.
weren't giving me any help. But I had a supervisor cover so I could go down for the interview, and I just remember they were asking me these open-ended questions, and I answered them yes,
Yeah.
no. It was the worst interview ever. But she called me later and hired me. She said, "Would you be willing to get a science endorsement and teach science and social studies?" And I said, "Absolutely."
Okay.
So that kind of started it in 1998. I got on with Coach Hansen, Robert Hansen, who is a legend down in Rose Hill. So we coached middle school basketball together, boys and girls. I coached golf. Seemed like I coached everything, but that's
Smaller town, Rose.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed it. I
Okay.
enjoyed it. And like I said, Robert Hansen was a great mentor, inspired me to want to do more. And eventually I just did middle school coaching in Wichita when I came to Wichita in 2002. Had some successes with the teams I had at Coleman, um,
Oh, okay.
Wilbur. And then I got the head coaching job at Wichita South. So I inherited a very, very good team. Did very well that first year. And second year was a rebuild. And then
Was this what sport?
what's that?
What sport again?
Basketball, girls
Bas
basketball.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I
Yep.
remember you telling me this a couple years ago.
No, it's
Okay,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So I did that for 2 years, and then the job at West High opened as the athletic director. And the principal, who I've worked for, this would have been the third time. He said, "Dave, you got a great skill set. You'd be a great athletic director." And I said, "Oh no, I just love coaching basketball." He said, "No, just give it some consideration." So I thought about it, and then I threw my name in, and they
Mhm.
hired me at West, and the rest is history.
Okay.
Yeah,
So, yeah, you were athletic director there for quite a while.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
um,
It was 4 years, but really three
or
good
well,
ones.
yeah. I mean, that's still yeah. Um, so okay, and then this is when you run into helping out D3. We are D3.
Right.
Um, uh, I guess I'll let you tell the story about that. But
Yeah.
you know, from here going to the basketball tournament, they have it. The basketball tournament they have it here in Wichita, a regional, and there was a team playing here. We are D3. Well, you had met them before. I'll just let you tell the
No,
story.
it's okay. Yeah. Um, the story, as I remember, it was probably 2021.
Okay.
I get a phone call from an area code that looks like Massachusetts or New York. So I answer it, and it's Coach Reg from We Are D3. And we started talking and found out we grew up near each other in
Yeah, that
Massachusetts.
was the crazy part. Yeah.
Yeah. And we just hit it off. And um, I just wanted to be hospitable. He was asking for gym space or, anything would help them. And I said, oh, absolutely. So when they came to town, I met them. But I had everything set up. Like the court was all cleaned. I had chairs out with towels and water for this team. And he was just so appreciative. And I said, oh, but that's just what I do. And
Yeah.
that's where the nickname Top Shelf comes from.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, because I try to provide a top shelf experience for anyone
Yeah.
I come in contact with. And also because I always wear a visor, so people can see me if they needed to get in touch with me as a coach or AD.
Yeah.
So that's how that came about. But no, and then next thing you know, we're being interviewed by the Wichita Eagle, and I
Mm-hmm.
think there was a spot on one of the networks. Um, but it was just a cool feel good story about a shocker opening the doors for We Are D3,
Right.
because they're guests in our town and we should treat them right. They're bringing in a lot of money to
Correct. Yeah.
Wichita, so
Yeah.
let's uh, let's roll out to welcome that. That was my thought.
Yeah. Yeah. I think people miss the point on that. Like the revenue that's being brought in from the basketball tournament and all the teams that come in is why that thing is so special to come to town, and why I think we should keep supporting it big time. But
Right.
um, so that first year, no, was this the first year you guys played the aftershocks, or that they?
Yeah, the first year was a different team and they lost by 7. But
But you didn't know them then, right?
I did.
Oh, you
I
did.
did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had given him some gym space,
Oh,
and
that's when.
yeah, and then Coach Reg, he gave me some tickets, so I sat up in the stands
Oh,
supporting
okay.
We Are D3. So that was fun. And then after they lost, they had a celebration party at O'Brien's on East Kellogg and asked me to come, and that's when Coach Reg asked me to consider being their director of operations. And I didn't really know what it was,
Uh-huh.
but I said, okay. And again, I wasn't doing this to try to get anything. I was just trying to be a good host.
Right.
That was it.
And then, which led to the unfortunate matchup the next TBT season, right?
Right.
Okay.
With the aftershocks, we were an 8 seed and just got destroyed. And got destroyed that game. It was it was it's just great to play in the Roundhouse. It's
Mhm.
just phenomenal. It's a mecca for college basketball. I know people don't talk about it as much as they should, but it is really a great place to play basketball. That next year, we overhauled our team.
Mhm.
We saw that we needed to get a grittiness, a toughness, because that's a great thing about TBT. They don't blow the whistle very much, which is outstanding because they let the guys play. So
Right.
it's settled on the floor because you don't want it settled by whistles.
Right.
So that next year, we came back as an 8 seed and played Kansas, and we took them down to the wire.
Mhm.
It was a missed box out. They put a putback off of a missed free throw, but we were right there. We were right there.
And I don't think should have been an 8 seed at all on that one, but
We had to get an 8 seed because of what
I
the
yeah,
aftershocks did to us.
yeah, and I get that, but being year to year difference, and
Yeah,
that that aftershocks team was there, but then they had to make some changes going to where they went, which, you know, I think messed them up a little bit because I
Yeah.
think they ran into was it the Heartfire team?
Heartfire. Yeah, they ran into Heartfire, um, who we played last year. So last year, we're out of the Wichita region.
Mhm.
And part of my job as director of operations is not only the logistics, but it's fundraising.
Right.
And sure, I could fundraise in Wichita because I know a lot of people, but Dayton, Ohio, I didn't know anybody.
Yeah.
So it was really, really tough on us. Um, we did win our first matchup against Alabama last year. So that was great for our program. And then Coach Reg went to GoFundMe after the game because, all right, now we got to pay for 2 more nights of hotel.
Mhm.
But I'll tell you what, D3 Nation stepped up. It raised over $5,000, so it covered the hotel, the meals, um, the the bus we had. It was, yeah,
Yeah.
thank goodness. But yeah, and we played Heartfire, and I'll tell you what, we have developed a mutual respect with the Heartfire Club. They told us that they did not deserve to win. They let us know that we outplayed them, um, but they had the experience.
Mhm.
So Elam ending, they've been through it many times. We just won our first game in the TBT
Right.
2 nights earlier, but here we took Heartfire to the brink, lost on a putback in Elam, so I think we lost by 2 or 3.
Mhm.
But we knew in that locker room after the game, we knew that not only did we belong, but we feel like we should be able to make a deep run. I'm
Mhm.
not saying win the TBT, but it wouldn't surprise us if we advanced a long way this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're in what year are you in now? So you're what, third, fourth year?
This is year 8.
8.
Oh, but no, for me, it's year 4.
Yeah,
Yep.
right. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
we are D3 year 8.
Yep.
Wow. Okay, and then yeah, your fourth year with the first year being just kind of opening up the gym and then
Right.
the after party thing or
Yep.
you know, going to a restaurant club thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not really club, it's I don't know.
Yeah. It's a bar and grill kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So are you to where you're helping trying to get players on board now or
Yeah.
doing that thing?
Yeah. We don't have a problem getting players now,
Okay.
just because of,
That's good. Yeah.
yeah, just
Um,
because of the exposure. And we have 440 Division 3 schools to choose from.
mhm,
So we will always be relevant. We'll always have a team in the tournament if TPT lets us. Um, I hope they lower that cost to get in because it's a $15,000 registration fee now. And
wow.
yeah, so like the big boys, it's they have donors that can do that. We don't. We're very self reliant, and it's the $5 and $10 donations that build our team.
Mhm,
So it's kind of like the D3 experience. These guys have been overlooked, um, but they play with so much heart.
yeah. That's cool though, being, we are D3, that's so it's a real big thing on the East Coast from what I understand,
Yeah,
Division 3 basketball.
yeah. There's pockets around the country like the Northwest. There are Willamette is the name of a D3
Northeastern, yeah, right.
Northwest United States, but Northeast with New England, New York, Pennsylvania. There's a lot of D3s. Ohio, Wisconsin has a lot of D3s. A few in Illinois, Indiana. A team from Indiana won the national title 2 years ago.
Oh,
Trine, Trine. Uh, Minnesota, Iowa, and yeah, Wisconsin. So it's and Texas has some too. It's
mhm,
just Kansas doesn't have any. It's NAIA here.
right, JUCO
Yep.
too, a lot of JUCO
Right.
around through here. Yeah, but it's cool that you guys can reach out to, like, basically that whole fan base. I don't know, that's why I think you guys got it going for you.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, maybe just use aftershocks, for example, it's just like, you know, they're trying to get just right around here and
Yeah. Oh, home court advantage is huge.
right.
Yeah, and
Um,
because we really don't have a home court, but being in Syracuse this year, we're near a lot of D3s. So we're going to have actually fans in the gym,
right.
not just, our families.
Mhm.
We'll have actual fans,
Yeah.
hopefully a couple hundred. In that Dayton arena last year, we turned a lot of the University of Dayton crowd for us. It was fun to hear them
Mm,
chant, "We are D3."
yeah.
That was great
So,
because that was when we played Heartfire.
okay. And since you've been on board, you've been to Wichita, wait, 3? No, 2. Yeah, 2,
To Wichita
Dayton,
and now Syracuse.
and now Syracuse for you. Okay.
Yep.
So, yeah, Coach Reg probably likes to staying up east too. He
Yeah.
always said he liked coming down here though, so,
Yeah. Yeah. He
uh,
liked Wichita. I
yeah,
mean, it's a basketball town. The fans are knowledgeable. It's
but you can't beat the where your roots are at, up in that area, in that region, so he'll
right.
hopefully it works out well for you guys there, so even
Yeah.
though it's kind of looks like it's shaping up to be a rough region a little bit,
Yeah. I guess Connecticut's in it. So,
yeah.
yes, the top two are Connecticut and Syracuse. And I think they gave Vermont a 3 seed. I don't remember.
Oh, they're trying to put a rivalry in up there, huh?
Yeah.
The okay.
And we're a 4 seed, and we play Lane's Hope, which is a 5th seed. Their roster is very talented,
Uh-huh.
so we cannot overlook them
Mhm.
for sure. But yeah, we're looking forward to the challenge.
Okay. Um, all right, so you went over a little bit of the fundraising and getting a team together, so that's no problem now, which is good.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay, the camps.
yeah,
You guys are working
yeah.
camps now.
Right. We started last year. Still, our mission for We Are D3 is to provide a platform for Division 3 athletes if they want to go pro to get looks.
Okay.
And the best way to do that for these kids is to provide a pro combine where they're playing games against the best of the best in D3.
Okay.
So last year we had 34 guys sign up at Lehman College in the Bronx, New York, and 22 of those 34 got pro contracts.
Wow.
So we thought, wow, this is great. We're onto something because we live stream the action.
Okay.
We take all the metrics for them, share that with coaches and scouts overseas, and we had scouts that showed up too, and coaches. And this year I'm talking about Division 3 coaches.
Okay.
Since it was in Boston this year, we must have had 8, 10, 12 coaches from D3 show up to support their guys. That was tremendous to see that. But we had scouts there, and at one point, there were over 1,000 viewers on the streaming at one point. So we know that that's generating excitement too. So we had 54 guys this year. So not quite doubled, but almost. And so far, I think I've heard we have 18 that have been signed, and this is since May 24th.
Okay.
So, and better yet, we took a couple of those kids on our We Are D3 roster this year.
Oh, nice. There you
Yeah.
go.
So now we're actually having a live looks at some of these cats that want to play.
Yeah. So, scouting for you guys also.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. And we've had other teams want us to scout for them, but no, this is what we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give them. Yeah. Or charge them.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Set up another revenue stream for.
We Are D3.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Give
the
them
thing
some
with,
reports. Yeah.
right. That's the thing with ours. We charge $300 per player.
Okay.
300, where most of these,
Which isn't bad.
it's great because
That's
most
not
of them
bad
are
at all.
like a 1,200
Yeah.
to 1,500, just so you could say you were there.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that those are bad camps and it won't get you exposure, but if you can do it for 300 and we take care of everything for you, that's a plus. But that goes back to our mission. We want to help these kids if they want to continue to play a boys game for another 5, 7, 10 years, then we're going to give them that avenue.
Right.
before they have to get a real world job.
Yeah. And so Coach Reg is there too.
Yeah,
Okay.
Coach Reg and Coach Jay Harris,
Okay.
because he's the
Oh,
head
okay.
coach at UMass Boston.
Yep.
So we used his facilities, and it was great exposure for his school, for the and the kids at UMass Boston. They helped facilitate some of the things, so it was just a great look all around for the brand.
Mhm.
Um, and Jay Harris, I mean, this was his logo that he
Okay.
created last year, and so we kept it for
Okay.
the TBT tournament.
Okay. Yeah, but Coach Reg, he's not okay, he's gonna get mad at me for not remembering who he came out from under, head coach,
Yeah, David, I can't remember his
one
last
of the
name.
winningest coaches.
Yeah, he got inducted in the
Y-
Basketball Hall of Fame last year.
yes.
Yeah, and that was at I don't know if it was. Yeah, I think it was
And he was on
Springfield
staff
College.
too with
Right.
for okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll put it up on the screen
Yeah, it was
if
either
that.
Springfield or Amherst. I can't remember which one.
Mhm. So you got a really good coach there at that Campton. So
Yeah.
couple. Yeah. All right. So when you guys, we'll do a little bit of look inside the TBT life. Like, so you guys get together, what, a week early maybe, or
Yeah, we're probably unique,
okay.
whereas most of these teams, they just show up a day or two before
Mm-hmm.
and, roll out basketballs, stretch during the game or before the game and play. We actually have a training camp.
Okay.
This year we have 14 on our roster. So we'll have a training camp, and this is their chance to prove to themselves, to us, to the coaching staff, whether they should be in the rotation, because you can't play all 14 guys.
Right.
And the games are 36 minutes roughly, and then you have the elam. Uh, so during the elam, you got to go with you got to go with the strongest guys. Um, yeah, it's a chess match. It's
Mm-hmm.
really a chess match because all these guys are good. It's just a matter of what role will they play,
Right.
because we may not need you to score. And our downfall the last couple of years, if you look at the stats, is rebounding.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it isn't that we're not trying. We're just we are outsized quite a bit.
Yeah. But it's harder to get those. Yeah. A lot of big guys that are really good at basketball are probably playing professionally somewhere too, though, so
Right.
the limitation, yeah, I heard this, so yeah, just being more aggressive on the
Yeah.
floor.
Yeah.
And
Offensive and defensive rebounds,
okay.
and getting out and running in
Hmm.
transition. If you can score easy threes, easy twos in transition, it puts a lot of pressure on the opponent, forces them to burn timeouts. You look over at their bench and they're getting disgusted with one
Hmm.
another, whereas we're pretty hype. We got camaraderie. We're the brotherhood, keeping it together.
Right.
Um, so that's the name of the game in anything: putting pressure on the opponent.
Right. So yeah, I thought I was giving you a lot of time by saying a week. I didn't realize other teams are just a couple days beforehand.
Right.
Okay. So you guys get some practices in actually then, or
Yeah, we go over,
um,
our sets. We go over
mhm,
our basic offense, which we have really, since Wichita State, we have really simplified our offense, and it's paid off. We have really improved there. Actually, the roster additions that we've had have
mhm,
just been incredible upgrades for where we've gone, where we're going. Um, so we'll start this year Tuesday. It was a travel day, but that night we'll have a practice.
okay,
Next day we'll have two a days for the rest of the time. So Wednesday practice in the morning. We've already got a scrimmage set up against a TBT team on the other side of the bracket.
okay,
Come back to the table Thursday morning. So here's essentially giving our guys a chance to fight for roster positions
okay,
or court time ticks. I call them ticks. How many, you're going to get some ticks. You're going to get on the court. Thursday morning practice. Thursday afternoon, we'll have another scrimmage against a TBT team on the other side of the bracket. Friday morning, we'll practice, have scout against our opponent, Lane's Hope. Friday night, kind of a walkthrough, dinner. Saturday morning, we play at noon, so we can get to the gym early, stretch, get treatment or wrapped, whatever they need, and we play at noon on July 19th, Saturday the 19th. So
I don't know if I should let this information out. You guys are running a professional operation here. Like, that's
oh yeah,
other teams aren't doing that
no,
at all.
no,
I know that. So, wow. Okay, you guys are all in on this thing, big time.
yeah.
Um,
We owe it to ourselves
right.
to. We don't have the advantages that most of these other teams have. Quite frankly, we're very limited, but we're not going to make excuses.
Mm-hmm.
I like that over there. Nobody cares. Work harder.
Right.
That's pretty much what we do.
Yeah.
And I think, or I know that's why we have made good impressions on the TBT basketball fan base, especially here in Wichita.
Right.
And it's not just because I'm here. It's like, oh, they play good basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Don't take the Aftershocks game. Like I said, they were dominant and
Mhm.
probably should have won the TBT that year, but they ran into Heartfire, and Heartfire is a good club. They're well coached. They have great talent, and when you got coaching
Every
and
year.
talent, when you got that coming together, that's a tough recipe to defeat.
Yes. Yeah, I think they started off too with really poor shooting percentage. The Aftershocks that game.
Heartfire is so long, and
That too.
yeah, it's tough to see when you're watching it on TV, but when you're there courtside, you're like, oh my gosh, um, a lot of them have 7-foot wingspans.
Yeah.
I might be exaggerating, but it's
No,
pretty
yeah.
wide.
Yeah. They weren't they here too in this, but on the other side of the bracket? No, or
I think they played the Aftershocks in the final.
4, right?
No, because they played them here in Wichita.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I think they played them in the regional final here. I could be wrong, but
I don't remember either.
yeah. But then
I have to
Heartfire
pull.
advanced. They advanced and
R-
ended up winning.
Oh, you're talking about last year,
Nope, 2 years ago.
2 years ago when
Yep.
they had the pro. Yeah, but that's when. Okay, yeah, they did go to Dayton.
Yeah, they were in Dayton with us last year, so we met them in round 2
Okay.
in Dayton, and it was a phenomenal basketball game.
Yeah.
I've watched it about 6 times. Even though it's heartbreaking to lose, it was just from a basketball fan, just watching the pace. I don't think either team had more than a 4-point lead the whole game.
Yeah.
So that's fun to watch.
Yeah. So, okay, knowing that you guys were able to keep it close with them, that that must give you a lot of positive energy going into this one.
Yeah.
This year.
Yeah. Like I said, in that locker room, the guys were more disappointed. They were more disappointed because said, yeah, we belong.
Mm-hmm.
Not that they didn't believe that, but when you're playing the defending champs and you probably outplayed them and lost, I mean, that's the way it goes. I mean, sometimes shots go in, sometimes they don't. But everyone in there had just a phenomenal belief that we can do this.
Right.
And what a story that would be.
Okay.
Just a bunch of hardworking kids from Division III schools you've never heard of to come in and make some noise in this tournament dominated by a lot of NBA players, ex-NBA players, first-round draft picks. That all goes out the window when the ball's tossed up.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of former college greats too and everything like that. Yeah. Okay. So this will be your furthest travel yet for TBT being from going to Dayton last year, now to Syracuse. I guess are you looking forward to this? That far out.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're
Uh,
only a couple weeks out, by the way.
yeah.
But
I leave I leave next weekend.
okay.
Yeah, I leave next weekend. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. The guys, because most of them are from New England and in New York,
Mm-hmm.
uh, it's a short drive for them. So they don't have to get up, go to the airport, have all the troubles with traveling. That's the only bad thing about Wichita. I know they're getting more nonstops and direct flights
Yeah.
to different cities, but if you're in the Northeast, it's a connection.
Yep.
So, and that's more expensive. These are all things that people don't think about,
Mm-hmm.
but now, they're going to be more rested. We are cutting practice time back to 90 minutes instead of 2 hours, and sometimes we kept them a little longer. We're expecting a deep run, so we
Mm-hmm.
want to keep their legs fresh. So these are things I'm thinking about as we're game planning and prepping for the camp.
Yeah. Okay. Um. So, is there any? I guess it goes by so fast too when you're in the game. Like,
Yep.
um, I was just kind of curious about that, about the feeling during game time, like just how fast it actually goes by, and then you're just kind of like, wow. Afterwards,
It's
that
exhausting.
happened. You
Yes,
know.
it's very exhausting because it is a fast-paced
Mm-hmm.
play. Because the minutes, I think they're 9 minute quarters. Yeah, I think they are 9 minute quarters, and then that last one after the 4 minute mark, then it's Elam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it goes by really fast. It's like you're a firecracker the whole game, just ready to explode. And
Right.
boy, it's so much sweeter when you get that dub.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is.
Get to yeah.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, after each game last year, I was so exhausted. I can't imagine the players.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just I've always wondered about that side. As fans, we go in there, we cheer, go get a drink or something like that, and
Yeah.
we don't realize the planning, all the practices that led up to it, the practice before and shoot around, and then all of a sudden when the ball gets tipped, it's just like probably seems like it's just like where did time go?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's game on. It's intense.
Hmm.
Really intense.
Yeah. I'm just trying to get that feeling of that, like imagining how quick it goes, just because I've like coached high school ball at like little rec leagues and stuff,
Yeah.
and I know it goes fast, but so I can't imagine doing it like at that level. That's
Hmm.
crazy. I mean, you guys are pros, so
Yeah.
you're literally coaching pros, and it's pros playing. So
Right. Yeah. Every one of our guys play professionally.
yeah. All right. Well, I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything else from TBT that we need to learn about here. Um, I don't know what's the impact been on you for
Oh,
this going through this, just
yeah.
being part of this organization, and I would call it an
Yeah.
organization now.
Right. Yeah. That's a great question. We are D3 is now an LLC. So
Mhm.
we're not just a pass, it's
Yeah.
it's legitimate now. So when we were getting donations, they were so little it didn't really matter.
Mhm.
But now, we're legitimate. We're recognized. People understand. They recognize the brand when
Mhm.
they see it. Um, it's been a lot in a short amount of time. I didn't expect this. I
Mhm.
didn't expect it. So, uh, roughly 2 years ago, Reg had asked, "Hey, do you want to be partners in this?" I said, Absolutely. We need to do things right. We need to, whatever that is. We're really small peanuts, but this has an opportunity, if we do this right, to experience tremendous growth. We just didn't think it would happen this quickly. Uh, and with Coach Jay Harris coming on board, uh, you know, so we got three partners here that are strategically doing this the right way. Uh, we've also had Hardy Strong, the Hardy Strong Foundation,
Mhm.
which is the Justin Hardy story that was on 30 for 30.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, they have been with us for all of my years, 4 years
Okay.
with We Are D3, and they are big supporters of us in keeping Justin's story alive. Um, and this year, Justin's brother, who just graduated last year from University of Indiana, he was a team manager
Okay.
for the Indiana basketball team, and we're going to have him on our bench a week from
Oh,
Saturday.
okay.
So,
Nice.
yeah, it gives me goosebumps thinking about it because this is the reason why we play something bigger than
Right.
ourselves. And I got to meet Bob Hardy last year, his father.
Mhm.
So get this, we finished the game with Heartfire,
Mhm.
and everyone's kind of melancholy and just you know we're saying our goodbyes, and hey, we had a good run, we got our first win, and um, but we keep Justin's story alive with the guys. I mean,
Mhm.
they all know it. But that next day, I drove from Dayton. I took Coach Harris down to Covington
Mhm.
Airport across from Cincinnati so he could fly home. But I was driving back to Wichita, and I told Jay and Reg, I said, Bob Hardy is in Indianapolis, because I keep in touch, text him, and
Mhm.
and we keep Justin Hardy's uniform on the last chair,
Mhm.
number 12.
Yeah.
I said, I'm going to try to meet Bob in Indianapolis
Mhm.
and present him with the game jersey.
Oh, okay.
And it was one of the most profound moments of my life.
Mhm.
Here I am, Indianapolis, Indiana, meet Bob at this convention center, outside this convention center. I present him this jersey, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, here's a father. He lost his son to
Yeah.
cancer, and his son would have played with us. He was All American at WashU in St. Louis. He was that good of a player.
That's a really good. That program's known for being good too, by the way.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're one of the top programs in the
Mhm.
country for D3. Um, my interaction with Bob Hardy was just maybe 60 seconds,
Mhm.
and I left there. I couldn't even think.
Mhm.
I couldn't even think. I got on the interstate, and after 20 miles, it said Chicago. Well, I wasn't. I just lost. I just lost all sense of everything.
Okay.
It just meant it. I was so proud to meet a man that just keeping his son's story and courage alive. Uh, it did. It had a tremendous impact on me. So that hashtag Hardy Strong, when you see it on
Right.
our uniform, it means a lot to each and every one of us,
Mhm.
because no parent should have to go through that.
Right. So there is just I like that. And the reason I like your guy's story is because there's more than just a weekend of basketball. Guys coming together trying to play for the $1,000,000 or is that what it is still?
Yeah, yep.
Okay. You're making this more than just coming together and playing for I mean, for the championship. I mean, that would be nice. That'd be the icing
Right,
on the cake, right?
right.
But the
The
life experiences you guys are getting from this
Yeah,
versus probably other ones that are just coming together to try to put a team together to win the championship,
Right.
and
Yeah, it's a tremendous honor to keep Justin Hardy's story alive.
mhm,
And what we need to do is pile up wins, because the more wins we have, the more chance his story gets repeated.
right.
And that's our goal.
Yeah. Awesome. Love it. Um, so is, is there anything else I'm missing or whatever? I cut a
No,
little bit out. But
no, I think we touched on our program,
mhm.
touched on the coaching staff, touched on the players. Like I said, I feel like we'll be relevant in TBT for many years.
Okay.
I feel like
I think so too, honestly,
yeah,
with what you guys are doing.
right.
Mhm.
And the fact that we're playing in Syracuse is going to be quasi home
Mm,
game for us, uh, which will be nice.
right.
Yep.
Okay. Well, best of luck to you guys,
All
man.
right.
You know, I love it. I love the story. I'm gonna be rooting for you guys too. So,
Thank you, Lee. Yeah.
with with my new shirts. Um, but yeah, thank you so much for your time, man. I
Yeah.
appreciate it, Coach.
Appreciate being here, and I love talking basketball. And
Yeah.
if this game can help bring something positive to people around the country, it's a great thing.
Hmm. Yeah, that's what I wish. I wish they would pick up on it and do a little side documentary for just more of what you guys are doing to get more of the story out there, and you know, just I don't know.
Oh,
I feel like it could just be more
it
than what people see on TV.
right, right.
So,
When you put this piece together, I invite you to maybe take a clip from the 30 for 30 story on Justin Hardy.
I will. I'll link it.
Yeah,
I'll absolutely link that because I think people should hear that story too.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's tremendous.
Okay. Cool. Well, thank you very much for your time.
All
I,
right.
I appreciate you coming over and
Thank you, Lee.
everything. Yeah.
All
No
right.
problem.
Go Aftershocks too.
Yeah. Different regions. You can say that.
Oh yeah.